Hi guys, welcome to another top 3 video. Today we're going to talk all about the top 3 powers from the new Noctic discipline. If you haven't already guys, hit that subscribe button and the notifications bell just in the corner over there so you know each time we release one of these videos. So let's get right into it. The Noctic discipline is the new discipline that came out in the new Caradon book. And basically, it's the discipline that Be'lakor and the disciples of Be'lakor can use. And it's fairly interesting. There was nothing in there that I looked at and went, oh, this is insane. But basically, I thought I'd just make this video so that if you're going to use Be'lakor in obviously with demons and stuff, then you kind of get an idea of which, the way that I'm thinking about. So these are my top 3. In at number 3, I've got Paul of Despair. So it's Warp Charge 7, and you've got to pick an enemy unit within 18 inches and visible to the Psyker. That's one of the reasons why it's third and not one of the others, is you've got to be within 18 inches of the target, and it has to be visible to you. And then you've got to roll 3d6 as well, and if it's greater than the leadership characteristic, you get to choose one effect. And that's the thing as well, you get to choose one effect. When I read it first, I got a bit confused, and I was like, oh my god, all 3 of these effects happen, but it's not. You get to choose one. You can either, the unit loses 1 aura ability that it has. So the unit that you've done it on, if you roll 3d6 and it exceeds their leadership, it's got to be greater than as well, not equal to, higher than their leadership, then they lose 1 aura that they have. Can be nice for turning off character buffs. Or they cannot perform actions, and if they are performing an action, it automatically fails. So it can be nice to deny your opponent points in the mission. And the other thing is, fight last. You can make that unit fight last, but it's only one of these effects that happens. And also you've got to roll higher than their leadership. I know on 3d6 the average is like 10 or 11, so you pretty much should get it off, but it's dice at the end of the day. So the reason why it's coming in number 3, because I know it's quite powerful, making someone lose an aura or stopping them performing an action that they're doing or making them fight last. I know those are big abilities there, but it's the fact that you've got to get within 18, you've got to see the target, and then you've got to roll through, you've got to cast the power on a 7, and then you've got to roll over their leadership. It's like, there's too many things that have to happen for this to work correctly. So I don't think it's going to go off as often as you'd want it to go off. That's why it comes in at number 3. In at number 2, I've got Betraying Shades. Now, I really like Betraying Shades. It's a Warp Charge 6 power, and you pick an enemy unit. It's still got to be within 18 inches and visible to the bearer. That bit stands. But what you do is you choose 6 models from the unit. It's not any 6. You choose 6 models from the unit, and you add their attacks characteristic together, and you roll a number of d6 equal to the total. And then for each 6+, the unit suffers a mortal wound. But if you cast it on an 11+, for every 5+, the unit takes a mortal wound. So imagine doing this on something like Adeptus Custodes, where they've got 3 attacks a model or 4 attacks on a bike unit. So imagine you did that on a bike unit. You'd pick 6 models from the unit and you go, right, it's 24 dice here. This unit's going to take 4 mortal wounds. If it's cast on 11 or more, the unit's going to take 8 mortal wounds. Now, to kill an 85-point bike, or perhaps 2 of them, by just casting 1 power, is pretty insane. That's why I really like it. And it's especially good as well for things like Incubi, because they have 3 attacks base. Now, you're going to roll 18 dice. You're going to get 3 6s on those dice averagely. So that's like 3 Incubi dead. It's a good 50, 60 points of somebody's army just gone to 1 psychic power. And normally people are taking units of 5 or 6 Incubi only now. 7 in some cases because you want bigger squads to do damage. But you're going to basically kill half their squad by casting a power. And then when you can do a smite with that and pretty much take care of the whole unit, it's got to be one of the top powers there. To be able to almost completely wipe out an elite unit from somebody's army by just casting 1 power and smite, it's insane. So Betraying Shades definitely comes in at number 2 for me. At number 1, though, is Penumbral Curse. So the reason why it's number 1, the first of all, is Warp Charge 7, like the others, but it's an enemy unit within 18 inches, but does not have to be visible. That's key, man, because with the others, you've got to kind of see what you want to do it on, whereas this one, you can pick a unit that's hidden behind a wall that thinks they're safe, and bang, the power goes off. And then, models in that unit, whenever they make a melee attack, they've got to subtract 1 from the wound roll. That's absolutely huge, because you're probably going to run Be'lakor with Keepers of Secrets at the moment, because, it's no secret that they are probably the best greater demons in the demon book right now. So people will still be running like 3 Keepers of Secrets and Shalaxi and Be'lakor all together with loads of demonettes. Now, those things are toughness 7. Quite a lot of things in the game, like Vanguard Veterans, which people are using in abundance, they got full rolls to wound, but they're wounded on 5s. Imagine if they're wounded on 6s. It makes you so much more survivable. So basically, they subtract 1 from their wound roll, but also reduce the AP of the weapon by 1. That's not so big because you're a demon army, so the AP doesn't matter that much, but the wound roll matters hugely. So there are just so many units in the game. The reason why it comes in at number 1 for me, guys, is all of the competitive units in the game right now. In combat, they're all like strength 4 or 5. Like Witches are strength 3 or 4. Hellions are 4 or 5. Incubi are 5. Vanguard Veterans are 4, maybe 5. Only Blood Angel ones can get +1 to wound. White Scars ones can be strength 5 or something like that next to Khan. And that's it, really. Other than that, all of these competitive units that people are using in combat right now are all wounding greater demons on 5s, but normally they're like wounded on 5s, but they've got full rerolls to wound, or they've got reroll 1s to wound with a bucket ton of attacks. Now you change that to wounding on 6s, and half of the wounds that they normally do, because normally it's 5s and 6s, now it's just 6s, half the wounds that normally go through will not go through anymore. And I think that's the biggest thing that you can do there, especially when even Be'lakor's got the Sinesh keyword, so you can use Aura of Acquiescence for 1 CP and reduce the number of attacks of units within 3 inches of you. So when you get charged, you go, right, you're -1 to wound me, and bang, you've lost an attack on each guy in the unit now as well. It just means that even the most powerful combat units in the game are really not going to do anything to you in combat. So I think to have that is just insane. So that definitely is number 1 on my list. But like I say, these are my top 3 Noctic discipline powers. If you guys are using them and you have a different opinion on them and which ones you think are best, please leave them in the comments below for everybody to share. And until next week, guys, see you later.